Coming to you live after not that much sleep from the previous thing that was casted on this channel. We are here from a small town in the commune of Lifu in the Loyalty Island province of New Caledonia. We're here today with day number 2 and bracket number 2 of the DreamHack Atlanta Oceania Open Qualifiers. I am, of course, your host, Yaku of Zaku, and with me today is El Sandwich de Pesto que venció al Reque es un lich. Light_VIP. How are we doing, Light?
What's up, Yaku, mates? I also just want to welcome everyone to the Twitch channel of a Code S team, by the way. That
MBD.
No big deal, big deal.
We know, we know pro players, but we're tight like that.
Yeah,
but,
we're literally
MBD,
Code S
MBD.
level, but you know, I mean, we knew that before World Team League, to be honest. Okay,
Yeah.
we already knew that, really. So. Everyone check out the VODs last night, okay, because we played in WTL, and we're going to be playing tonight as well. We're going to keep on going, and the cast, they just don't stop, just like this series here.
We're going to quack on some camels. Yes, indeed. We are kicking things off on today's bracket with Waterfall. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue, normally Protoss, but now Terran player from the land of Sydney. He is currently teamless. You may know him as Pezz, but today he is Tez.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Waterfall, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, hailing from the land of Australia, the king of Brisbane. Going for the pool first, it is Oreo.
Once again, I question Oreo's choice to let Waterfall through the veto process, but in fairness, he might have thought that Pezz was going to play Protoss.
It's I would like to give the benefit of the doubt that Pezz told Oreo his race before they vetoed. I would like to, you know, I don't think he would do him dirty like that, but you know who is being a little bit dirty here with that pool first, with that gas for pool followed by gas. We have a Roach Warrant.
This has gone completely unscouted from the side of Pezz, not just foregoing the SCV scout, but also entirely skipping the Reaper, by the way. That is a reactor first coming out from Pezz, and only now is he throwing down a factory. I say that, factory!
Yeah, he was just waiting for that gas, and as you were saying, this is a very greedy opener here by Pezz. He didn't SCV scout, he didn't Reaper scout, he didn't do any kind of scouting whatsoever, and he will be punished hard for it. Oreo was able to confirm this, by the way, and yeah, I think Oreo, this is a great way to be like, hey, welcome to Terran.
Welcome to the Smoge race. Now you're gonna find out why. Now you're gonna find out why they're all depressed.
Yeah, man. You ain't Terran unless you're smurging, mate. Let me just quickly fix that. You're feeling too good about this.
He was just this morning tweeting out how he felt like his Terran was better than his Protoss too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, so to bring it all full circle and be like, hold on, why is Pezz off racing? Well, Pezz has been playing a lot of Terran over the past like 2 months, because of the fact of a couple of bets that were made, and he was enjoying himself playing Terran. No, sorry. Yeah,
I think it was actually Pezz was actually one of the first players to start off racing as Terran, but yeah, I definitely do think that the past couple of months of Chappy Bet influenced his motivation quite a bit. This, however, is going to make him question things again.
Exactly, as the Roach Ravager is here. Finally, we see a response here from Pezz. I mean, the low ground, the CC is done at least, but Oreo doesn't care about the CC. He wants to go all the way into the main base.
Yeah, going straight for the throat. Unfortunately, Pezz, he swapped those add-ons. He cannot make a tank or a Cyclone right now to really deal with these roaches. A decent buffer with his SCVs, but his bunker's not going to finish, and those SCVs aren't going to finish living either.
Yeah, and how are you going to deal with the roaches? Well, with Vanilla Marines and with Hellions, GG gets called, and just like that, Oreo will take the first game.
Very nicely done. Now I see why he chose Waterfall. Now I see why he let Waterfall through the map pool. He was giving Pezz a false sense of security there. It's like, okay, you want to play Terran? I'll give you the Terran map.
Yeah,
let's see if you can deal with this.
Exactly. So Pezz, a little bit too comfortable there, is going to take a quick loss in the first game. God, it's interesting, right? Because if you're ever gonna pick Terran, sure, like I understand the confidence because you've been practicing it so much, but I feel like this is Oreo's best matchup.
Without a doubt. I mean, we just saw how oppressive he was yesterday against
Yeah.
Akon Sisse,
True.
or Akon Sissies, and I think you were also mentioning quite a bit as well. Oreo did take a little bit of a break from the game and has been only returning recently in the past couple of weeks, but the ZvT hasn't really changed that much since he's been gone.
Yeah, it's the matchup that's changed the least, to be honest, outside of like certain maps, to be fair. But yeah, Oreo looking quite strong in that first game, but hopefully in game number 2 we can get something a little bit longer. We can get a little bit more from our Terran.
Nah. I want Oreo 2-0. Yes! We continue our series now on Inside and Out. In the top right-hand corner, map spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we of course have our blue Terran player coming down from the land of Sydney, not rallying the first SCV, interestingly enough. We're currently teamless. He is Pezz, or Tez.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Australian Zerg player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings, already up in this series. It is Oreo.
I apologize for any residual biases I may be holding from last night.
Well, that's a bit of an interesting thing. I think we were talking about it last night as well. The CranKy Ducklings have been on fire in every single region. We were so surprised last night when I was surprised. I think we both were when Starduck qualified. We're like, oh my god, like even Starduck is finding success. Yeah.
Okay, that's not entirely true. In fairness, I saw he was going up against Zane.
Yeah.
I saw he was going up against Ryan. I'm like, this is gonna be tough, man.
Yeah.
I want to believe, but.
Exactly, and maybe we should have. Regardless, every single Duckling, Ryu, Eric, Starduck, Dolan, Patty Mac, Vindicta, everyone has been able to move on, find success in their own regions, whether it's through invites or whether it's through just qualifying through the open bracket. We even last night, Asher was talking about it, we went for the triple hat, we went for the trifecta, you know, we qualified for Code S. Now it's just Oreo's turn. No pressure.
Literally no pressure.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I've got a lot of love for Oreo, and we were talking about it yesterday. You know, he hasn't been able to, or like he hasn't been practicing as much recently. Asher was telling me though that after Oreo's games, like it's like a fire was reignited. You know, like he felt motivated to compete.
Yeah, he was theory crafting a lot. He was discussing the new meta and what builds he should do last night with NXZ quite a bit. You know, the former king of Brisbane educating the new one. It's nice to see.
Yeah, exactly. You love to see the Zergs stick together and work together. So we'll see how that's all going to come to fruition if we get into that ZvP matchup. But for the time being, it looks like, the first drone is going to go down here.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate here for Oreo, but his queen does pop out in time. And his Reaper shouldn't be too much annoying, but Pezz thankfully does scout everything here.
Yeah, he does scout everything. He confirms that there is a third base and nothing crazy is going on, that no additional gases have been taken either. So Oreo is going for a standard hatch gas pool into a third base, and Pezz can actually get into a game of StarCraft.
Yeah, but more of a longer one, which is something that I'm definitely very curious about. I think we've seen, back in the day, I think we've seen quite a bit of Pezz's TVP, just because he wasn't really enjoying the PvP matchup as much, but I mean, we were talking about it a little bit yesterday as well. Pezz, for the longest time, has been known for being the best PvZ player in all of Australia. Now that he's playing in a TvZ, there's going to be a lot to learn here from what Pezz's form is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how much confidence Pezz should have in this matchup, right? Because I 100% agree. You know, why switch to Terran against Zerg when your Protoss or your Protoss versus Zerg is so good? So I want to see him impress us. So far, is going for that third CC before Starport. From that, is going into a Banshee opener.
Interesting. Are we going to see Cloak or are we going to not?
Yeah, the 3cc Banshee, a much more standard macro-oriented opener here, is investing in that cloak. Oh!
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, very nice scout here from Oreo. Gets to see the 111 and confirms the third CC as well. Not quite sure if he saw the tech lab researching, but regardless, he should be getting a few spore crawlers.
Yeah, exactly. Based off of what he scouted, he should be getting a safety spore crawler. It looks like he wants to confirm, though. He doesn't want to waste resources where he doesn't have to, so the Overlord is going to dip on in, and he will see the tech lab researching.
Yeah, sees one Banshee is already out. Second Banshee is currently in production. And Pezz has a couple of options with this. I doubt he's going to throw down an armory to try to do any Hellbat shenanigans with this, but you can send the Banshees with the Hellions to get a little bit of extra support there. Maybe snipe a Baneling or two if need be, or he can just split them up and try to go for some multi-prong.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe going for multi-prong. I'm excited to see like what kind of multi-prong harass like Pezz can actually accomplish here with this Terran race, with this Terran matchup. So far he hasn't quite moved out yet, I believe, as the first Banshee is still chilling back at home, waiting for the second one to pop out. Hellions looking for a way in, almost getting to the natural, but the Queens do reposition in time.
And once again, I gotta highlight Oreo's creep spread over here. He has eyes on just about every single opening Pezz could possibly go for with these Hellions.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. We actually haven't seen any scans from Pezz. Like, despite being active here with his Hellions and despite being active with his Banshees, he hasn't tried to stop this creep or clear it up even.
And he's definitely being a little bit greedy when it comes to his mules. But we'll see if that pays off for him. I know that there are some Terran players who just really like to put literally everything they have into a very strong 1-1 timing and then try to go from there. And
yeah,
Pezz is one of them.
Exactly. There's Terran players that they just dance and poke and prod with their Hellions, and they are more concerned with keeping them alive so that they can actually morph them into Hellbats later on with their main army once the army is turned down for 2-2. So yeah, we'll see if that's going to be the case here. We do see that one scan just clearing up whatever creep he can. At the same time, two Banshees dip into the main base, but Oreo has split up his Queens, and he does force them back.
Yeah, these Banshees unfortunately not getting any damage, really. I guess they kind of scout the space being thrown down, but yeah, when you're investing this heavily into new Banshees, you want to deal damage with them.
Definitely, yeah. They got like one drone, I think, here at the Triangular Thread, and that's it. To be fair, they are alive. They can go back home, they can repair, and they can come together for that big 1-1 push, where they can add some value. But as you were saying, like, ideally, you're able to hinder the economy of the Zerg.
Speaking of that 1-1 push, oh no, he actually turns back. Never mind. It would make sense. He's probably going to wait for a couple of medevacs and for his timings to line up. There we go.
Beautiful, beautiful. So quickly looking at the units tab, we have two tanks with this. We've got our two medevacs, our Banshees. We are having an armory on the way, so we can morph these Hellions into Hellbats if they don't get caught out.
Yeah, nice positioning here with the Marines as backup for those Hellions. He is leaving the safety of his tank still by a lot. That is a huge surround. But now Oreo is forced to fight off creep. His Banelings don't quite have speed just yet. But now they do.
Exactly. You know what? This army is deep onto creep. There we go. Baneling speed does finish up. They will find the connections. The tanks are going to be cleaned up.
Yeah, Pezz able to keep a bit of his bio alive, but he does expose the tank by so much. Will get picked off, and the rest of his army follows not long after.
Yeah, exactly. If you're wondering why Pezz was a little bit distracted at the start of that engagement, we did have a little bit of a Ling run by here. That's why these SCVs are a little bit softened up. Pezz was quick to respond, and he didn't lose too many. I think only 4 SCVs in total, but it did cost him his push.
Yeah, overall, he's still alive. He can still recover from here. But Oreo doesn't need to worry about recovering at all. He's getting a hive, and it's not even the 9-minute mark yet. That is how safe Oreo is.
Let's go. We're taking our additional gases. We have our infestation bit. We're working on our hive from here. We don't have a Hydrogen yet, so we could be going straight into lurkers. That would pair well with our melee upgrades that we do have here for Oreo. He's got options, and the pressure is on Pezz because earlier you were talking about it. Like, he hasn't been clearing up this creep, and the creep is getting out of control.
It's right onto Pezz's front lawn now. Well, it's right across his house, pretty much. Pretty soon, that creep is going to be sneaking in through a door. Onto the door.
Yeah, sure. So you see Pezz, siege up and actually have a decent spread here, but the problem is what he has to support this army. He has a single tank. He's got 3 mines. Mines can have a lot of value, don't get me wrong. Meanwhile, it looks like we did have a little bit of a Baneling run by. Once again, Pezz was very quick to respond.
Yeah, doesn't lose a single SCV and barely any damage there, so that was pretty nicely done. But now he's supply capped, and he is already struggling to reinforce this army.
Oh, God, that he is. Meanwhile, Oreo just dancing and threatening that army. We do have a Widowmine behind this, so Oreo has to be so very careful with how he engages and make sure that Widowmine shot doesn't go off.
Yeah, or at the very least, if it does go off, it gets a little bit of friendly fire damage. He does not want to lose all his Banelings like this! Very nice snipes here from Pezz. Oreo, it needs a little bit more time before he can remake all of those key units.
Oh, exactly. But you know what? We have a little bit of a flank here. The Lings come in from behind. They try and get on top of the tank. Widowmine shots are going to go off, but these Baneling connections are going to be good enough.
Just good enough to keep the army at bay, but I feel like Oreo traded very inefficiently over there. In fairness, you could argue that he can afford to in terms of mineral resources, but Pezz still has a bit of an army. He still has one tank and a lot of Marines. He is pushing his advantage.
He really is, but you know what? The Banelings, they finish up just in time. Oh my God, where are those Widowmines? It looks like the shots are not going to go off.
Banelings do not get wasted. Fortunately, that's still a lot of bio, but without any tank or Widowmine support, Pezz is going to have a lot of trouble pushing into this, even with the Marauders in the front.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Because of that Hive, Ultras are on the way. Oreo, he did go Lingbane straight into that Ultra. Kindness Plating is coming out. The Ultras even coming from behind.
And they will push away just about every single one of these Medivacs and Marines, what have you.
Exactly.
I guess it kind of makes sense that Oreo went for Ultralist since it complements his upgrades a little better, but he's really lacking in anti-air.
Well, that's the one downside, right? Is that look how many Medivacs there are. Jesus Christ, there are 10 Medivacs right now, and nothing to stop them. The only way that we can really deal damage, or the only way we've been dealing damage, is friendly fire through these Widowmines.
Yeah, funnily enough, that's even more. That does even more damage than these Queens.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're more reliable as well.
Meanwhile, the Lingbane rolls on forward. At the same time, we have a massive run by. This time, Pezz does not respond. This time, he only lifts up his buildings, and we get a full surround.
And this has been a 3-base all-in, start to finish from Pezz. Finally, Oreo is starting to push this back, and if Pezz loses a bit too much, man, I don't think there's any way he can recover.
Yeah, again,
all Oreo needs to do is live.
Pezz was pulling this off with 8 Raxes made 100% all in. That's why we couldn't take up into Hydras the way that Oreo would have liked to. GG, well played gets called, and Oreo takes it 2-0.
A very, very, very warm congratulations to Pezz for officially joining the Terran Smogers Club. You're one of us now.
You can smurge alongside us. Aye. GG, well played. Congratulations to Oreo for taking that series in a beautiful fashion, showing off his cheese and showing off his mid-game prowess as well in the second game. As you were saying, again, a very aggressive opener there by Pezz. But that's also why, like, the constant run-bys were that much more important for Oreo, because Pezz was working off of a very kind of limited economy. So even though he never really lost too many SCVs until the very end, like, any lost mining time just affected his push that much more.
Yeah, this is definitely a style of Terran that works very, very well. It's a very strong push, but you need to basically trade extremely efficiently, and you need to always be applying that pressure. You saw in those few moments where Oreo was able to force a pickup from Pezz. That gave him a little bit more breathing room. That gave him a little bit more time to get more Lings, get more Banelings, even tech up all the way to Hive and get Ultralist. That was really the final nail in the coffin there. Very well played here from Oreo, proving that, once again, it's just like riding a bike.
Just like riding that bike. Again, massive shout out to Pezz as well, because this is the first time that we've been able to cast his Terran. He's been, again, working on it for a very long time, since the start of the year. I now recall that was one of the memes of the first season of ANZ Champs, being like, yo, are we going to see Pezz? And Pezz was always kind of like teasing it and being like, no, it's not quite there yet. Like, I'm not too confident right now. Like, my Protoss is feeling a little bit better. The transition has occurred. We'll see if he commits or if he goes back.
Look, somebody needs to make up for Aegis switching to Zerg, and also AoE.
True. But with that, an insane series. Unfortunately, single elimination is this qualifier, so Pezz will be knocked out.